In 2010, states parties to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty agreed by consensus to pursue policies that are fully compatible with the objective of achieving a world without nuclear weapons. Yet today, the modernization of nuclear arsenals, including the manufacture of new warheads and their delivery systems, continues unabated.
Nuclear weapons remain deployed on foreign soil, and no steps have been taken towards ending reliance on so-called nuclear umbrella. We have seen a broadening of doctrines for contemplated use and have heard explicit threats of radioactive destruction.
How is this compatible with the objective of achieving a world without nuclear weapons? How is this compatible with the NPT?
All such policies and practices pose a threat to the entire non-proliferation and disarmament regime, and indeed to our very survival. They are incompatible with the rules-based international order, with basic principles of the United Nations, and with the dictates of public conscience.
These policies and practices are a source of great division and disharmony in the international community, and we condemn them unreservedly. We condemn them because nuclear weapons are indiscriminate, inhumane, immoral, and illegal.
When will the modernization programs end? When will the fallacy of the nuclear umbrella be dispensed with? When will genuine disarmament begin?
Of course, the vast majority of states do take their obligations under the NPT seriously. They have responded with urgency to the conclusions of the 3 conferences of the humanitarian impact of nuclear weapons. They have worked to enhance the security of their citizens and of humanity as a whole.
Last July, 122 states voted to adopt the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, an effective measure as required by Article 6 of the NPT. In the words of the UN High Representative for Disarmament Affairs, this was a historic accomplishment.
The treaty fills a major gap in international law. It powerfully challenges the notion that nuclear weapons are legitimate instruments of war. And it establishes a legal framework for their total elimination.
We applaud those states that have signed and ratified the treaty, and we urge all others to follow their lead.
This is international legal standard. Each new signature and ratification is small, but important steps towards a world forever free of the worst weapon.
In this time of great global instability, we cannot afford to lower our expectations for action on disarmament. The deterioration of the international security environment must rather impel us to act with greater ambition and urgency.
Do not accept weak outcomes. Do not accept yet more broken promises. Do not confuse consensus with progress.
Be the cause of the survivors of the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Respond to the dire warnings of the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of the use of nuclear weapons.
Too often, those who claim to seek common ground are simply promoting outcomes of the lowest common denominator, outcomes that fall well short of the expectations of the majority.
Yes, we must build bridges, but only so as to allow those who daily threaten the mass incineration of civilians to cross over to the side of those who reject nuclear weapons completely.
And finally, we welcome with cautious optimism the recent diplomatic news toward peace on the Korean Peninsula, and dialogue and disarmament provides the only pathway forward.
Nuclear weapons will only ever be a source of great insecurity. There can be no right hands for inhumane, illegal weapons.